Good to see you. Hello, I'm Creflo and welcome to your world. You know, back in the day, when you asked children what they wanted to be when they grow up, their answers were doctors, lawyers, teachers, firemen, scientists, and even astronauts. Times have changed. Today, when you ask children and teens what they want to be when they grow up, the most likely answer is, I want to be famous. And more children are dreaming of entertainment careers to find that fame. But danger is lurking and trying to steal those dreams. That's why parents need to be aware of the potential dangers for youngsters in an industry that some call the devil's playground. We've all heard stories about Hollywood dreams turning into horror stories for young people pursuing entertainment careers. Now, on today's show, you will meet some people who work in the industry and hear their cautionary tales about the pitfalls of parenting and managing a child with Hollywood and entertainment aspirations. Joining us today to talk about Hollywood's unscrupulous dealings is an entertainment attorney for some of the biggest names in rap music. We'll also meet a young female singing group whose career is on the rise to find out how their parents and management team have protected them from the bad side of the industry. So if your son or daughter is considering an entertainment career, you don't want to miss what today's guests have to say about young Hollywood, right here on Your World. Please help me welcome Adama McKinnon to Your World today. Thank you so much for being with us today. Well, how long have you been in the entertainment business, and maybe name some of the clients that you represent?
Okay. Well, being from Atlanta, I really can say that I've been in the entertainment business since birth. But I've had my own law practice for the past 6 years. I have been blessed tremendously to be able to work with some of the top names in the business. Currently, my clientele includes recording artist Rick Ross, Waka Flocka, his mother, Deborah Antony. Early on in my career, I even had the opportunity to work with rap artists like Gucci Mane and a number of producers. Mm-hmm.
You know, you made a comment that really got my attention, that we have to be kind of cautious because this industry could be the devil's playground. What do you mean by that? The
side that's not seen. I'm an attorney, so I'm on the back side. I'm not in front of the glaring lights, in front of the yelling crowd. The side that's unseen has a number of influences that can really take a person out. Mm-hmm. From drugs to sex to a number of perversion, whatever you can think of in your mind. Basically a Sodom and Gomorrah, for lack of a better word. I always advise my clients that at the end of the day, you have to stay true to yourself and know that every single decision you make is a business decision. Even if it's from turning down drugs or alcohol or deciding not to engage in interacting with another male or female.
Is it that bad?
It is. I've had the opportunity to travel overseas and on tours with some of my clients. It really shocks your conscience, some of the things that you see that are exposed. There's no barriers. Your wildest imagination, it's exposed there and it's offered. So you have to be strong in yourself and know yourself, confident in your craft, and have a vision for what you would like to ultimately achieve.
So this is a type of a seduction that's hidden under the Hollywood brand, the promise of fame and riches, that you find that a lot of producers and executive producers and people making those promises are trying to prey on, especially younger kids or anybody.
I think it's anyone that's in the industry.
Yeah.
At any stage, you can be exposed to that. And it's not just limited to producers. It could be just the environment in itself. In the environment, you have not only the producers and the executives, but you also have other colleagues, which will be your artists, others that are trying to wiggle their way into the entertainment industry in order to profit off it. You just have to keep your eyes and your ears, and your heart guarded throughout the entire process in order to reach your ultimate goal, which is to have a long-standing career.
And so that's why you say treat it like a business.
Yes, sir.
To me, it's like you can take advantage of someone if you find out what their ultimate desire is.
Yes.
and play off that desire to try to really deceive and hurt and, I mean, really mess up somebody's life and future.
Yes.
Have you encountered people who just said, you know, I'm not willing to do this and I'm just going to let it go as a result of it?
I've never encountered anyone that just walked away completely, but they kind of revamped their path and maybe took some time off from the industry to try to rediscover or reevaluate their plan and their process, which I think indeed perhaps saved their life.
You mentioned saving their lives. So lives are at risk?
With anything, there are risks.
Yeah.
And I just think that when you're in that circle and in that frame of mind or in that space, nothing is off limits. So yes, your life could be at risk.
Well, you know, psychologically speaking, when someone has a desire to want to reach the goal or the dream and to find that the dream costs too much, I always tell people that if it costs you your peace, it's too expensive.
I agree.
And when you go out and you're working hard and doing everything you can do to make your dream come to pass, it's probably safe to say that a large percentage of the people would rather go ahead and do things that they never would have believed they would have to do if they could have the promise of seeing that dream come to pass. Do you find that that's true?
That's true. Unfortunately, yes, sir.
That's bad.
Yes, it is.
You know, because you're looking at, you know, an innocent person who comes into the business with a dream.
Yes.
And so are people willing to even deceive and to lie, maybe to achieve an opportunity for their perversion to take advantage of somebody?
Unfortunately, that reality is there. But that's where it goes back to the advice that I give my clients about being centered and focused and treating every move as a business opportunity or a business move. Yeah. Because if you do that, then you'll stay true to what you ultimately entered this industry with, your desire. Not to say that everybody has to be perfect in your walk through the entertainment industry, but you just have to be aware and, like everyone says now, stay woke, be awake, you know, the entire time. And make sure that you're cognizant of every move that you make. I often tell young people that are entering the industry that come to see me, you can only grow as big as good as your team is. So you want to make that investment. Your team, from your attorney to your stylist, to your counselor, to your pastor, you know, it is very important and will cultivate the direction that your career goes in. You have to have a tight-knit team full of confidence. Young people, trust your parents. If you have a parent or a guardian, it's okay to trust mom or dad and take their advice. They might not have had or cultivated a career in the entertainment industry, but at the end of the day, you know that their interest and dedication is to you. So it's okay. I'm not against momagers or dads that want to stand in that position, but it's okay to have that parent or that family member or that confidant there to lean on. But early on, you need to invest in a good team. That's real good. For me, this show is about information, but it's also about inspiration. And yet, I think as Christian people, we should take the time to pray for Hollywood and to pray that God begins to put revelation in producers and inspire people to tell good stories and to protect these young kids that are going to be needed in this storytelling time, that they're not going to be taken advantage of. You're not going to find, you know, the predator in Hollywood that nobody will tell on because he's got big power in Hollywood. And I think if we just listen to some of the practical things that have been spelled out in this program today, that it can help to avoid some of those traps. And I mean, something so simple as make sure you don't go in and negotiate by yourself. Get an attorney that has experience, that can
take you through it, and that will kind of help bypass some of the traps. Or you can come and say, this deal was offered to me, and they can say, oh, well, that's just a little scam that's been going around, and really help to protect you at your emotional, your spiritual side of yourself, so that you don't have to give up on your dreams. I believe God puts dreams on the inside of people, and I just don't want those dreams to be thrown away because you encountered some pervert or some situation that caused you to throw away a dream that God put in your heart. So I really appreciate what you've shared with us today, and I'm just thankful that your story and what you're doing with the people that you represent, that God is still in the midst of the whole thing, and I'm telling you, that is something that I'm grateful about. Now look, when we come back, there's an up-and-coming girl R&B group, first formed in 2012 under the guidance of the husband and wife management teams, Natasha and Craig Garcia. This group's career has steadily risen in popularity, having already appeared on X Factor and Showtime at the Apollo. Now, though they act older than their years and find themselves at the brink of stardom, these girls' age makes them part of the most targeted group by the spiritually bankrupt within the industry. We'll get into that right when we come back in just a moment.
Attention ladies, join Taffy Dollar at the next Radical Revolution Women's Conference in New York as a Bible-based message on equality emerges, featuring speakers Jewel Tankard and Sarah Jakes Roberts. Join the revolution now. For more information, visit taffydollar.org today.
Here to talk about their rapid but cautious journey to fame, please help me welcome Mariah, Kaylin, and lady of the singing group Glamour to your world. Wow! So let's start off at the beginning. How was the group formed and when was it formed?
Well, we started off as a group in 2012. We were formed at an entertainment company called AGI Entertainment. We all came for different reasons. It's actually a really funny story because she came to be a singer, Lady came to be a dancer, and I came to be an actress. But at the entertainment company, you can't do just one thing. You have to learn to do all three. We all just became stronger in each area, and we got put together in 2012. So
I know you guys came up with Craig and Natasha and a lot of training. I know these guys, and they're going to train you and get you to be aware of some things. What are some of the things you learned from them, and how has it been able to benefit you so far?
Wow, we've learned so much from them. They've instilled so much in us. We spend a lot of time with them just because we train a lot, and they go everywhere we go just so we can have that kind of protection, because we are young and we still just have to have that protection because people are kind of crazy.
You guys shot a video in California.
We did.
Sometimes people, their motives and what they're after, they're not real clear at the very beginning, but sometimes throughout the process, you know, you kind of discover some things that are disappointing. Tell us about that and some of the things that you discovered, and then warn us, teach us.
Well, in California, we were shooting our loyalty cover, and we were just, you know, in between takes, and a guy, he came up to me, he was like, "You smoke?" I was like, "No, like, no, thank you, thank you." And he was like, "Oh, okay, all right." And then we used a guy's skateboard for one of our scenes, and he was like, "You want a Xanny?" He's like, you want a Xanax?" And I was just like, "I'm good, no, thank you." And he was like, 2 more times, he was like, "I'm selling Xanny bars. Y'all want bars?" Like, no. Yeah. It was like, because I've never been like directly offered drugs like, "Hey, you want?" So I was like, wow, it was the first time experience for me. So I was like, did he really just ask me if I want that? I was like, okay. It was a weird experience, but we're glad that we were like, I was expecting it, but it wasn't like, oh my God. And it wasn't like, I didn't know what to do and I was just frazzled. It was just like, politely turn it down and walk over there with my girl. So it wasn't nothing where I was like, it's just so taken back, but it's like you have to look out for that stuff. You have to know how to handle those situations. So.
Even though you were probably warned and trained about this, was it still surprising to actually encounter it?
It was very surprising, and because we're young, I mean, we're 17 and 18, so it's just like people don't really care like how old you are, and it can happen at any age. And luckily we did have that training, and we did know what to do, and we did have that protection because our team was with us during the time. So we just had that protection and we knew what to do.
So it's safe to say that, you know, you guys represent the people that will say, we're not willing to get fame at any cost? And have you met people who are willing to get fame at any cost?
Yes, we have met a lot of people like that, but we just know that that's not our path. And we could probably get up here faster if we were doing all that, but it's like, but we want it to last. We want to last years in this industry. We want longevity. So it's like, you're not just gonna do anything and everything for 5 minutes of fame. It's just not worth it. So we rather do the right thing and go about it the right way and last in the industry. So,
how much hard work is involved in the progress you guys have made even to this point?
So much hard work.
We've been in a group since 2012. We've been in arts development since 2012. We are still in arts development. We still do vocal lessons. And we've done some things in the industry, but training never, ever, ever stops. Because once you stop training, it's like, you can only get worse. Like, Beyonce still trains. If you think that you don't have to train and Beyonce trains, then there's something wrong with that.
There are lots of people who think that, though. Lots of people think, well, you know, they have the looks and they have the talent, and so they don't need to train. All they need to do is just show up, and voila, I'm gonna make it.
Not the case.
It's not the case at all, huh?
No. And there's also a lot of sacrifices as well. Like I said, we are teenagers, and we had to sacrifice going to public school because we were so busy and our schedule was just everywhere, and we kept having to get checked out, and it just wasn't right for our schedule. So we had to get into homeschooling, and that could be kind of hard for the typical young person because you miss out on so many social things. Events. You don't go to football games, you don't get to see your friends as often. So that's definitely something that we had to sacrifice as young people. But it's worth it in the end.
So why would you guys be willing to make that sacrifice?
Because we love what we do.
You have to keep the bigger picture. You have to keep the bigger picture in your mind. It's like the teenage social things is just small. It's nothing compared to the dream that we have.
Yeah. We're trying to set ourselves up for life. Like, you can't, oh, I'm missing a football game. Okay, but I'm trying to live comfortably, you feel me? So it's like, you just have to look at the bigger picture and look down the road like, is this really that important? So it's really not.
And our gifts are just bigger than us. I feel like.
Say that again.
Our gifts are bigger than us. I feel like people really need us. They need our positivity and our light that we bring to the industry. So we just have to always keep that in mind with whatever we're doing.
Exactly.
Like, football games, changing someone's life. Like, like you have to keep it in mind.
A lot of people don't want to fool around with groups because they say a lot of drama and a lot of stuff, and oh, dear God, groups are headaches.
Right.
Are you guys different?
We are different. We're very different. And the reason, what makes us so different is because like we really learn each other. And we do counseling sessions. Like, I know what ticks her off. I know what ticks her off. I know what makes her feel good. I know what makes her feel good. Like, you have to learn someone. You have to know what buttons not to press and how to maneuver. Because it's really a relationship. Like, this is a marriage. This is full time. So you have to know how to deal with people.
It's like people want to get in groups, but they're only thinking about themselves. In the group, you can't think about yourself. It's like you're a unit. We're all one person. In a way, it's like we all have to stick together. We have to make sure everyone is cool. We have to make sure, you know, everything is all right. You can't just go about your own business when you have two other people with you.
Yeah, you have to be your sister's keeper too. You have to be your sister's keeper. She got to check me about stuff. I got to check her about stuff. Like, excuse me, you feel me? So it's like the decisions you make individually affect the whole group. So I know she ain't going to do nothing crazy because she's going to think about this group. So that's really what makes us different.
I've got to say, man, I'm impressed because, I mean, the level of maturity that you articulate about what you understand and about what you're doing, it's refreshing. And it's not just for the goal of being famous, but you actually had, and I think you said this, a vision. I don't know if I've ever heard that before. Helping people, football game. I'm learning how to do both, Falcons and helping people, you know. I don't think people really can envision when you guys talk about work. Paint us a picture of the type of work that you guys have to do so that people can see just what you're committed to doing to make this happen. I think, I'm thinking about like Steph Curry and his work ethic, LeBron James and his work ethic. Paint a picture of Glamour and their work ethic.
We work out, we sing, we run our set like back to back to back to back to back. We get a quick 5-minute break and we're back at it back to back to back to back. Most times when we have a music video, for example, the one that we just released, we learned the choreo in like 2 days and then we had to come the next day and shoot it all day long, like in the hot sun, all day long, over and over and over again. Yeah. It's like a lot of repetition. Lots of repetition.
Talking about this just made me remember of a time where we had like a really, really crazy schedule, and I just want to map that out real quick. Okay, so we were about to go on tour, but before we went on tour, we had to go to New York for a press run, and we did press all day in New York. So the day before that, we had a 2 a.m. call time, 2 a.m. call time to get our makeup done. We had to catch a flight at 6 a.m. We were in New York all day, all night. We came back in Atlanta. It was about midnight, and after that, we got right on the tour bus to go to tour. So we had like no breaks in between that. Didn't sleep at all.
On a plane, but I mean that don't really count.
Not really
yeah, it doesn't really count.
And you're still expected to produce, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And produce excellence, right?
And schoolwork.
And
on top of that.
schoolwork.
Yeah.
So nothing's canceled.
Nothing's canceled.
At all.
Well, there you have it. So you want to be famous, huh?
Yeah.
First of all, my best to everything you guys have done and that you will do. You can cause some change in this world and bring some smiles on the faces of a lot of people. I am impressed, okay? Audience, don't you thank God for Glamour and what they are here to do and what they're doing? Man. The bright lights of Hollywood can be blinding for some youngsters and parents wishing and dreaming of stardom. From the early days of film, television, and music, the smiling, happy faces of child stars have masked the dark realities of being young and pursuing Hollywood dreams. Now, over the years, Hollywood and the entertainment business have moved farther away from the Christian and family values that once dominated the industry. And as the industry has changed, so has the potential dangers for young performers, which is reason enough for parents of aspiring entertainers to consider their children's safety. Now, if the rejections and the long hours of practicing, performing, and pursuing opportunities aren't enough to sour their dreams, then the corrupt industry practices and predators working in the business may. My announcer is going to share with you some very special resources that I've put together that can help you and your child stay true to your Christian values while working in one of our most secular industries, entertainment. Watch this.
When it comes to our children, danger seems to lurk on nearly every corner. Today's show was a cautionary story about the pitfalls of being young in Hollywood and parenting children with entertainment aspirations. As Creflo and his guests uncovered today, the threat is real. Industry abuse, scams, and predatory people are lurking to take advantage of the hearts and minds of our most promising young people. Here is a deeper truth that no one wants to admit. It's not just those seeking fame and fortune that are at risk. Now, with technology and instant access to all sorts of pitfalls, parents can't just prepare for the dangers outside their homes. There seems to be a new danger every day trying to rip away the safety and innocence of a young generation. Creflo Dollar's personal mission is to be part of the solution to this problem. Children are our future, and to ensure our future is in good hands, Creflo and his ministry are committed to transforming communities and strengthening families through various local, national, and international outreach programs. Today, you can help Creflo Dollar Ministries make a difference in the lives of children and families who are most susceptible and need our protection. In appreciation of your tax-deductible contribution of $35 or more, Creflo has assembled a collection of resources to help you in your spiritual walk. and maybe even more importantly, to raise the resources needed to continue equipping, empowering, and protecting our children at all costs from the threats outside and inside our homes. The collection includes the compelling book, How to Handle Rejection, which will show you how to deal with the pain of rejection. Use the lessons in this book to begin healing from the wounds that rejection can leave. You'll also receive the DVD, Treasure in Secret Places, where Creflo discusses the true source of our wealth and how our actions should reflect what we say and what we believe. The book and the DVD are available right now for your tax-deductible gift of $35. This is your time to set the course for your life and your children's lives on the right track. But that's not all. Creflo wants you to be further inspired and encouraged, so he wants to send you the full program on DVD in its entirety, completely unedited. You'll be able to see and hear more stories and testimonies from Glamour and Adama. So get today's special collection that includes the How to Handle Rejection book, the DVD Treasure in Secret Places, and the uncut and complete version of today's program, all for your love gift of only $35. And remember, your tax-deductible gift today allows Creflo Dollar Ministries and its missions teams to not only share the message of God's grace, but also demonstrate God's love and grace in a very tangible way to people who so desperately need it here and around the entire world. So call now.
Listen, if there's something going on in your world today and you need some help, stay connected with me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and know that I'd love to hear your story. And remember, God's love and grace are sufficient and that you were born to win. I'll see you next time right here on Your World.
Attention ladies, join Taffy Dollar at the next Radical Revolution Women's Conference in New York as a Bible-based message on equality emerges, featuring speakers Jewel Tankard and Sarah Jakes Roberts. Join the revolution now. For more information, visit taffydollar.org today.
On Your World, you hear real stories from real people. Each guest receives a reminder of God's plan for good in their lives with the Grace Certificate. Today, you can receive your very own Grace Certificate. This certificate is an inspiring reminder that you are the righteousness of God. Simply go to yourworldwithcreflo.com now or text GRACE to 51555 and download your own certificate in minutes. When visiting New York and Atlanta, join Creflo Dollar at World Changers Church International. Service times are Saturdays at 6 p.m., Sundays at 10 a.m., and Wednesdays at 7 p.m. For more information, visit us online at creflodollarministries.org. Because of you, Creflo Dollar Ministries is providing a new understanding of grace and empowering change in the lives of millions of people every day. Thank you, partners and friends. Your love and financial support makes it possible to bring this message into millions of homes all across the globe.